Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of En la Casa pa la Raza podcast. And on today's episode, we have my homie, the one and only MC Ceba, all the way from Melbourne City, Australia. MC Ceba, en la casa, ¿cómo estamos, hermano?
Muy bien, hermano, muy bien, muchas gracias por tenerme acá y bueno, saludos a todos los que estén mirando y escuchando.
No, gracias a ti, bro. I just want to say thank you for being on the podcast En la Casa pa la Raza, putting our hands together for MC Ceba.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
No, man, all good. So how you been going, man? What's been going on?
Man, in the period of what time, man? Where do I begin?
It's been a little while, bro.
Absolutely. Well, obviously the last 2 years, living this pandemic. Living this pandemic, but personally, as I was explaining to you just earlier, like I've been very blessed. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I've worked throughout this whole time, and I became a first-time father last year in June.
Oh, nice, man! Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Definitely been a complete life change, as you yourself would know.
Yeah.
And all the parents out there, went from living a bachelor life and just being me my whole life to, you know what I mean, all of a sudden having to respond for my daughter and my partner and which has been great. It's been great because it made me personally, step up. Step up and step up to that responsibility.
I think for the wild ones, it puts things in perspective. I think like there's a purpose. There's a bigger purpose now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, but yeah, man. Look, throughout the pandemic, just been working, living the family life. Bit by bit. And enjoying the most and doing the most of what I can with what's been given. And slowly, man, just trying to get back into doing some music, which I took a step away from some years ago to get my personal life on track.
I did hear a little something a little while ago, maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that for sure. So mira, Ceba, for the ones that don't know, who is MC Ceba? Just a brief answer, so the community can get to know you a little bit better.
Sure. Okay. So MC Ceba, born and raised in Melbourne. Moved up to Sydney in 2002 when I was 19. And I joined and was part of one of the pioneering Latin hip-hop crews, Y La Familia.
So you were part of Y La Familia as well?
Absolutely.
Oh, crazy. So it's Y La Familia, and then you were Os Locos, right?
100%.
Wow.
100%. So I went to join Y La Familia when I was 19. We did about 15 months there with Y La Familia. Until the unfortunate demise and incarceration of MC Rafa, who obviously was the brains and the engine and the motor behind all that.
Shout out Rafa, man.
Big shout out, man. But yeah, unfortunately, that came to an end about February, March 2000, or a little bit later in 2003. But I've always said Melbourne raised me, but Sydney made me. So
that's crazy.
I moved up to Sydney and joined one of the biggest acts at the time. That was insane. Doors were wide open. I started emceeing in clubs, performing everywhere. Learning and grinding away. And learning as much as I could. Then took a bit of a break. Obviously, La Familia finished. Then at about 2004, with my partner in rhyme, partner in crime, Cheeky MC, Cheeky Montana.
Shout out Cheeky Montana, man.
We started writing some tracks, and then an idea began, and obviously wanted to continue pursuing and doing what we did originally with Ila, which was holding the flag for Latinos and doing the Latin hip hop. And yeah, we had a couple of other boys that joined us at the time, Mandra and another mate, Marquito, and we started Os Locos.
Crazy.
And that for me was like my first baby. At that time with Os Locos, I was experienced when I was one who already come and experienced and lived things with La Familia. So obviously all the things that I learned there as the grasshopper, I started to apply and put into play with Os Locos, taking that lead, taking that, that front and that role. And, along with the crew,
I remember I always wanted to meet you. Obviously over here, we would only get CDs or when I remember having Os Locos CDs, and La Familia was just before my time, but like I had some of their stuff or your stuff, obviously, as La Familia. And I was like, oh, one day I'm going to go and meet Os Locos. And I remember I went out clubbing. I don't know if you remember me, but remember this.
I remember the day, bro.
You remember this?
Man.
La Cita.
La Cita, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember I went out clubbing, and obviously you and
I remember like it was yesterday,
Chicky
man.
Montana was on stage. You just hit me up in vivo through the mic, and I was like, oh shit, I wasn't ready for this, but I stuff it, you know what I mean? Got up on stage with you boys, and that was the first time I met you, man. So that was some cool shit.
Yeah, man. That was with I think it was a Thursday night at La Cita. And they always had the salsa bands and stuff like that. And it was with the band. And I can't, if I remember, man, if I remember correctly, I think it was C Major that introduced me to you. I remember it was someone that introduced
Carlos Velasquez.
Carlos Velasquez.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't know.
If I remember, I could be wrong. It could have been someone else, but from my memory, because I think he was singing with the band. But anyway, man, I remember, and that's how we met, man. My introduction to yourself as well was on stage.
Yeah, it was trippy, eh? I don't have that experience like with anyone else in the game. That was the first time. It's like boom, and then we got put on, at the same time. It was crazy, man.
Absolutely. But yeah, back to your question of who MC Ceba is, man. I've been in the game for almost 20 years.
Wow.
MCing, performing, that was always my thing. I lived 9 years. I ended up living 9 years in Sydney from 2002 to 2011.
Yeah.
Once again, 2005, we came out with Os Locos, and then it was just pushing through and doing all that.
I gotta say, yourself, Rafa, and also Bravo Linguista, all three of you guys to me was like my forefathers. Like that's who I wanted to be like all three of you. You know what I mean?
Big shout out to Nico, man. Big shout out to Bravo.
Yeah, man, Bravo, man. I haven't seen Bravo in ages, bro. Like we would kick it on the constant, but I haven't seen him for a long time. Shout out Bravo, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. One of the most definitely talented and humble dudes, man. Beautiful soul and beautiful human being, man. Absolutely.
No, 100%. So would you say you started prior La Familia on your own, or joining La Familia was your first time at doing music?
Man, La Familia was my sole purpose and reason for doing music. And wanting to do music. And I grew up with music. I grew up with music at home. My stepdad always had bands. Our family, friends, and people that I grew up knowing my whole life were like the top Melbourne musicians.
Yeah.
And I always, my stepdad always had bands in the lounge room rehearsing, but none of that ever made me want to do. None of that ever made me want to do music. And obviously growing up, family, friends, the boys from La Familia, from the original La Familia, which was Pavel and Rafa, they were like older cousins to me, and I always looked up to them, and used to go over to Sydney when I lived in Melbourne to spend summer holidays and all that sort of stuff. So
that's sick.
When they started La Familia, and and that was it. That was like, I was young. Like I said, I used to worship the ground that they walked on, and they started Ila Familia. And that just blew my mind, dude. Like when they came out with that, man, I was hitting up the raves on a weekly basis here in Melbourne, getting off my head just into electronic music and all that stuff. And they came out with Ila. And that was like, wow, you know what I mean? So that for me was like my sole inspiration. You know what I mean? Ila Familia, my thing was, I was like, wow, I'd love to join them one day.
Was it an easy transition to join Ila Familia? Or was it more like obviously a family thing where they just let you in, or were they a bit harsh when you like, hey man, like, you know what I mean?
No, dude. Well, look, through La Familia, the day, first of all, the day that I knew I wanted to be on stage, like I was living in Melbourne, with my boys, and didn't even have a crew, just like you all do, just start rapping, and I didn't write at those times, so I used to rap at the beginning. I was just rapping Ila Familia lyrics, and we were just hanging out with mates. We were just hanging out with mates and rapping, and we were hanging out with these girls, and they were dancers, and they ended up having an old school friend that was doing an event, and she was getting these girls to dance, and she asked these girls, do you know any rappers or break dancers or this and that? And they're like, yeah, we know these guys, they're rapping. So next thing I know, they've brought this chick over to my house, and she's just like, and I was with my other homie Tanzi, and she's like, all right, go rap for me. And we're just like, all right, sweet, and we rapped, and she's like, all right, cool, I want you to do the gig. So I was given a gig before even thinking about it, or even having a crew or anything like that.
That's crazy, man.
And we got given that gig, and it was like, all right, let's do something. Let's start it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rounded up another couple of boys that we were hanging out with at the time, and we ended up starting this little crew called ECK, the Ethnic Connection Crew. And
that sounds sick.
Yeah. So we did, and then, man, we rehearsed. We did like 2-3 songs that we rehearsed every day at my house for like 3 weeks straight. And then we did that show, and that was the first time for me getting on the stage. And it was from that point onwards that I was like, this is what I want to do. This is me, bro. Dude, I never finished high school. I never had any direction. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with myself. But I stepped on stage that first time, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And we did a couple of gigs and that, and then at the end of 2001, I went over to Sydney, and I was kicking it I was staying with MC Ruffer, and then he hadn't heard me rap. He just knew that I, he heard me rap once. I started rapping, and he spun out. Just how naturally it had come to me, and over a period of different things. So after a big night, I was going to travel in 2002. I was buying a ticket to travel the world, and crazy. And then after a night out, and after an event, there had been it was the Club Joint All Stars versus the Chief Rockers, which were like the 2 biggest DJ crews back then. And I didn't know.
I remember the Chief Rockers. I remember that name. Yeah.
So Chief Rockers was like DJ Nino Brown, DJ Nike, DJ Samurai.
Yeah. I remember.
And I think they had an MC called, I think his name was Mike Select. And the Club Joint All Stars were DJ Motto, Peter Guns, Demo, DJ Tickles, and MC Ruffer.
Shout out Tickles, man. Actually, he shared my song like I think last 6 months or 7 months ago, something like that. Shout out Tickles, man. Shout out Tickles for the love.
Yeah. Awesome dudes. And after a night of that, and then, man, I was just at home one night that we got back to Rafa's place after that, and Rafa's like, dude, don't travel. He's like, come and join Ila. And that for me was like
crazy.
That was like the biggest thing ever. You know what I mean? I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, come join Ila, and let's do it, and let's travel with Ila. Let's do this, let's do that. And dude, I didn't even have to think about it twice. I was just like, done. And a couple of months later, and I still remember the day, February 4th, 2002, I moved to Sydney. And
you were originally from Melbourne.
Born and raised in Melbourne, man.
Born and raised in Melbourne. There you go. I thought you were. I swear, I always thought you were from. I don't know why. Everyone that's in Sydney, I think they're from the southwest. I just have this thing like everybody that's like from the southwest. So I thought you
Yeah,
were
no,
from the
no.
Southwest, like Rafa. Everybody else was from the Southwest, and then you moved to Melbourne. So you were from Melbourne,
Nah,
and you moved to Sydney.
from Melbourne.
And
Yeah,
you joined
yeah.
Ila Familia. Wow.
Joined La Familia, had an amazing experience with La Familia. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. You know what I mean? You know, and that's the thing. Like things are different nowadays. You know, throughout life. You know, we've gone through different paths in life and different
Yeah.
directions, and you know, unfortunately, we don't speak anymore with MC Rafa, but nevertheless, you know, always
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wish the best for him and whatnot. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that I'm gonna ignore and deny what that was for
Oh.
me in my
Yeah.
life. You
Yeah.
know,
Of
if it
course.
wasn't for Ila Familia, I don't think there ever would have been an MC Ceba. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And everything that I learned and everything that I experienced there was amazing. So you know that I'm very grateful that was, you know, the beginnings of myself. And as I said before, you know, Melbourne raised me, but Sydney made me. Everything that I
That.
learned and did, and throughout my 9 years in Sydney was what I, you know, went building myself. And you know, and then later on with those locos. And then I
Yeah.
started growing. I started growing artistically though. I started, obviously we used to, you know, do the whole hip hop thing with the DJ and then dancers, and then added some musicians.
Oh, because I heard a track a little while ago, about a year and a half ago. Ah, I don't know the producer's name. There's a producer in Melbourne. There's a certain producer's name. It's got a distinctive name, but I forgot it. I apologize. But you're on the song. Maybe it's your song. Or
Oh,
just
that's
big track, like
that's that's
quality
with that's with
wise.
that's with Anunnaki.
That's yeah, that's the name. Anunnaki.
That's with Anunnaki. That's with the Anunnaki project. Big shout out to the homie Marquito.
Shout
Um,
out Marquito. But Asado showed me the track. Actually, DJ Asado. I listened to that and I'm like, holy crap, bro. You gotta drop a video. Like that's the
yeah, that
highest
was
quality Latin reggaeton like music that's out in Australia, period. Like right now. I feel like when
yeah,
I
yeah.
hear that, yeah.
Marco definitely is amazing on production.
Mm.
And it's through that. That's through. I think that would have either been the song Nena. So we came out with a track called Nena, and then there was another track called Melbourne Latino, which I was a guest on.
You were part of this song. I know that for sure. I think it might have been Nena because you were all through the song though.
Yeah. So that's Nena. That's Nena with with Anunnaki on the production, and
Yeah.
myself and my our other good friend Sebastian Lugo, who's
Okay.
a Colombian street artist, and he's amazing and very talented and really well known for his work that he does as a busker, and throughout the community he's definitely grown and you know,
Yeah.
sought after, and he's
Yeah,
great.
because that
And we have
track,
the
yeah, man, that deserves a listen for sure, man. I heard that and I'm like, wow, man, that's like that made me want to call you boys, be like, hey, bro, like get me on a feature or some shit, like get me on something or jump on some of my stuff because I really liked it.
absolutely.
I like the level that you guys are at when
Thank
you're
you,
doing your
man.
music now. It's like quality is high. Like I don't know, I really like that.
Thank you. Well, personally, as also mentioned earlier, like I took a big step back from the music back in 2016. I had to get my personal life on track.
Yeah,
Um,
as you
you know,
do.
my life consisted of a lot of substance use and abuse.
Yeah,
You know, and unfortunately that got the better of me. So you know, I had to put the music aside and get my life on track. And I
yeah.
was sort of cool. I'll put it aside and then I'll get back to it. And it's just like it's like the flame just got put out, you know. And
Oh, yeah,
but I guess I was just living other things in life. You know, I had to live and go through other things in life. And slowly but surely, you know, over the last couple of years, I've been, you know, trying to put in work and get myself back into it. You know,
back in.
get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
spark that flame up again. And so over the last couple of years, the most like what's come out of MC Ceba has been just more collaborative pieces.
Yeah.
Um, nothing of my own as such just yet. There's definitely some things coming.
Yeah.
There's definitely some things cooking.
Yeah,
But I've been fortunate enough to work on some collaborative projects. The first one being Nena.
yeah.
I linked up with Anunnaki a few years back. There was an amazing writer, this kid from Chile, who I met.
Okay.
He was here for a few years when we were still playing with La Familia, with Los Locos. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he hit me up to do stuff whilst he was here, but my head just wasn't there, And he's since left because he was visiting some family friends, some family.
So Anunnaki was he is a producer?
Anunnaki is a producer. So Anunnaki is it's a project. The Anunnaki project is the creator is Marquito Rossi. He's a guitarist, musician, beat maker, producer.
Right.
Who does, as you said yourself, his level of production and music is really good.
Definitely his level of production is dope, but also like you being on that level of production, like yous both made that song. You know what I mean? Like I was expecting a video from that track because I'm like, oh wow, man, if a video comes out, like it's all over.
Yeah, look, we did shoot something, but unfortunately it just fell through and it never came together how
Right.
we envisioned it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that was one of those unfortunate things that it just never went out. The video for that never went out. But I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, we really need to get a video done, a proper video done for that. Because it's a very, very nice track, and a lot of people really dug it, and it's a spinner. Like we've performed it many times. People singing along to it and knowing the lyrics, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, man, that's sick. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So you ended up moving back to Melbourne then, and obviously
I moved back to Melbourne. In 2011.
Okay.
So I moved to Sydney in 2002. I came back to Melbourne in 2011. I was explaining before. Musically, I started to grow and want more, and Os Locos, as I was saying, we always used to do, DJ, and we had trumpet player, percussionist, dancers, but I wanted a live band.
Right.
One time whilst living in Sydney, I came to Melbourne and I saw this band that was called Labjack. They were insane.
Okay.
And I was just like, there was like those things that you're just like, wow, that's what I want. I want a live band. I want a live band. And Os Locos, we ended up growing in and forming a band. At the beginning, it was a 13-piece show, full live band, DJ, dancers, the whole works. And it was great. We got to do some gigs in Sydney. But it was one of those things where I just always found myself in Sydney putting on events so we could play, as opposed to having places and opportunities and stuff to play. It was like when you're putting things on so you can play, so you can satisfy that need and that want to do that. And then it was one of those things where then over the last maybe 2-3 years that I was in Sydney, Melbourne just started calling me back. It was always known. And it was funny because when I told people that I moved to Sydney to do music, they were always like, but isn't it usually the other way around? Don't people go to Melbourne for music? Because Melbourne's always been known as like the arts capital, and there's always so much more. And, it was like one of the second largest city in the world, or the second biggest city in the world for live music. And then over the last maybe like the last 2-3 years, and then we had come to Melbourne and we performed a couple of times in Melbourne, and the response and everything was just insane. And so
I hear
calling me back.
I hear it's really good too. I haven't been to Melbourne yet in the whole time I've done music, bro. Not once.
Dude, I need
to. It's the time, like, bro. You just let me know, bro. When shit opens up and when it's ready, like, let me know, bro. Just to come and check it out. We don't even have to, perform or nothing. But
18th, if you can, man, put it there. 18th and 19th of December.
18th. Oh. I got a show on the 18th. But 19th, I might be able to go from the show to the plane to the show. We'll see what happens, man.
Well, yeah, man. There's in Melbourne. There's the infamous Johnson Street Festival, which is a massive Hispanic
Oh,
Latin
that's
American
that day,
festival.
bro.
Big street festival. They usually do it in November. It's usually in the
Yeah,
third week of November, but obviously, given the pandemic and dates and whatnot, obviously the festival didn't get done last year. So
yeah.
festival's really been pushing to get it done this year, and it's gonna be done on the 18th and the 19th of December this year.
December.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And we're actually, hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be performing there with this new project that I'm part of
Okay.
and front
Yeah.
on the Sunday.
Oh, that's crazy. I was talking to Asalo about the last time everyone was there, and then they were telling me, they're like, bro, you gotta go to this. This is like the WWE. You know that dude who always reference to wrestling?
Yeah,
And he's like, yeah, you gotta go there, bro. This place in Melbourne's crazy. Bro, you know what? Fuck it. Like if I'm performing, as soon as I'm done, like I'll get on a plane, I'm on my way there. If everything's open, everything's cool. If I'm not performing, I'll be there on time. I promise you that.
absolutely,
It's the first time, bro.
absolutely,
I
man.
got to do it. You know what I mean? And come see, MC Ceba and Miwo. Come on, bro. It's no brainer.
Absolutely. That'll be great. That'll be great.
Crazy. So that's so. What are some of the future projects then that MC Ceba's got going on? Can he say or can he not?
Um, Man, at the moment, what do you mean projects by music that's coming out
Yeah, like
or
what's your future plans, like, in general to do with music more so
okay.
in
Well,
life?
like I said, at the moment, to get myself back into music because I've been away for it for so long.
Yeah.
My steps that I've done so far have been doing some collaborative tracks, some that have been put out. First was Nena with the Anunnaki Project, and I was also part of another track called Melbourne Latino.
Yeah.
I did a track with a DJ producer originally from Adelaide, but now he's been in Melbourne for a few years. DJ Jay Castell.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jay Castell. Yeah.
Jay Castell. So we and I've got another track now, hopefully coming out soon with a good friend, Mesa,
Okay.
Carlos Mesa, Colombian artist. He's a insane drummer. He's the drummer from the reggaeton cover band that we've got now,
Oh,
Lo que
nice.
faltaba.
Oh, sick,
But
bro.
he's
That's dope. Lo que faltaba.
also
There you
Lo que faltaba, man.
go. Sick.
But yeah, he's got some great tracks out, man. Check him out, Mesa,
Mesa.
MEZA.
Okay. Mesa.
So he's been dropping some really nice tracks over the last months. So we got a track, nice perreo track coming out soon.
Nice, sick, bro. Sick.
And other than that, man, yeah, I'm gonna be dropping something very, very like my comeback or sort of, my reintroduction because. Yeah, man, I've been out of the game for a long time. People here in Melbourne know me as the club MC because that's what I've been doing over the last
Right.
maybe 3-4 years.
Right. Yeah.
Which was great because it doesn't exist here in Melbourne, the club MC thing. I came from a city of Sydney where every club that you go, everywhere's got an MC. You know what
MC,
I mean?
yeah,
and you got a host, man. But Melbourne just didn't have that, So I guess I saw an opportunity and a market that wasn't being done, and I came in and over the years
Did they show love when they seen that for like say for the first
absolutely,
time or whatnot? You know what I mean?
absolutely, and it
That's
was
sick.
something new and different. They weren't used to it. You know what I mean? They weren't used to having someone, bringing that element to the table and bringing that, which obviously changed things in the Latin clubs. Because it went from just having DJs to all of a sudden having someone who's experienced. I always tell people, man, I've been doing this for 20 years. I didn't just pick
Yeah.
up a mic yesterday. I didn't just pick up a mic yesterday and start doing it yesterday. So people spin out. I was like, yeah, well, I've been doing this for a long time. So I was very fortunate and grateful that I was able to bring something which was new and very well received. Very well received.
Yeah.
dude, at one point, a couple of years back before the lockdown, for the first time, I was making a living off this. I was like, dude, from Thursday through to Sunday, I was doing five jobs, five
Wow,
clubs in
that's
a weekend,
crazy.
which was insane.
And there's
So
an
yeah,
art
that's
to that too. I remember I got hit up one time to do this blow party. I'm not an MC by any chance, not like MC like that, club MC. And I'll be honest with you, man, I was stuck. I didn't know how to hype in that form. I only know how to hype in the music form, get on stage and doing the set, but there's an art to it. It's not the same. You got to know what you're doing. You got to like keep the vibe and the hype and esa fiesta going. Hey,
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, look, that's what I've been doing over the last maybe 3-4 years, and little bits and pieces of some songs here and there. But yeah, working on myself to start releasing some of my solo music for the first time ever.
nice, bro.
And all my stuff's always been and generally always is, in Spanish and for the Latin market.
Yeah.
But the first track I'm coming out with is something very, very, very personal and very raw.
Okay.
Where I'm basically putting everything on the table, and that's sort of like, you know what I mean, a story of saying, okay, this is what I went through in my life.
That's
This
your
is what I've been
triumph.
through,
Yeah.
and this is where I'm at now. And definitely looking at doing a nice video, and I want to do justice to it because it's after everything that I personally lived through. As a recovering addict and someone who's been working on myself for the last 5 or so years,
Yeah.
and people were saying, man, you need to put that in the track, you need to do that. So it's something that I did, and it's a track that I've been working on for a couple of years now, like trying to get it ready and wanting to release it and do it properly. So that'll be my first proper release, hopefully soon.
That's awesome,
And then
bro.
after, and then it's sort of like, all right, here's that. You know what I mean? This is where, and then come out with all the party stuff and everything that people
Nice,
generally
nice,
and
nice.
and usually know me for.
Yeah. So man,
Yeah,
what a
yeah.
story, bro. Hey, you know what I mean? What a story. Crazy, bro. Crazy. To be honest, I didn't know the beginning of your story like that, but that's insane, bro. So born and raised in Melbourne. Obviously, you had your crew there. You started emceeing and doing your thing there. And then from there, you moved to Sydney. Then you're about to travel the world and you ended up joining La Familia. How crazy is that,
Yeah,
man?
man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Obviously, through, La Familia was obviously massive. And then throughout that, then there's Oz Locos. Then you move back and, you got everything else going on now, the cover band. And then you're about to just release your solo stuff. That's crazy, bro. I can't wait to hear it, bro. Like,
Thank you.
obviously, been a
Thank
fan
you.
since the day. So, to hear it now, it's like, fuck yeah.
Thank you, man. Much,
I
much
love it. I
love.
love it.
Thank
I,
you.
I like I like the fact that everyone's still in it too. You know what I mean? Because for a moment there, I was like, oh shit, man. A lot of people was dropping. A lot of people weren't in it no more, and it seems empty. You know what I mean? But it's amazing, bro, that everybody's there, and the pioneers are there because you guys are obviously pioneros. You know what I mean? That's what I reckon.
Thank you. Yeah, man.
So, Ceba, where can people find you at, bro? For the ones that don't know you, the ones that want to find out more information and follow all your new events and new everything that you do.
Man, social media, MC Ceba, Facebook and Instagram. I'm correct, yeah, Ceba Os Locos, or MC Ceba. Look up MC Ceba, and you'll find me there. Also on our band page, Lo Que Faltaba. As I've mentioned it, but just a bit of a rundown on what that is. That's again another one of the steps that I took to get back into what I love doing, which my main passion was always performing first and
Yeah.
foremost. And to get back to that, it's always been one of those things like when you're an urban artist, it's taboo to do covers. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, singers and vocalists, they do covers,
Yeah.
but when you're an urban artist or you're a rapper and stuff like that, it's like, nah, man, you don't do covers. But one of the
Yeah.
things, but again, for me, it was like getting out of what I'm used to and just to get back to
What,
the passion and what I
bro?
love
Was
doing.
that difficult for you to do that? I got hit up by Gustavo and DJ Saco and that over here, and we performed at Cloudland with a new group called Urban Goddesses, and then it was myself as a reggaetonero, rapero, right? And there's another crew called Latino Hits. You might probably met these boys in Melbourne.
Yes, I've heard. I haven't met them, but I've heard of them through Adrian Cacho, who does a lot of events, and he's been taking those boys around.
Yeah. So there's those boys, and them. They're two Colombian boys, and those dudes. That's what they do. They just drop hits, right? Like they do all the like, you know, cover band hits, and they kill it. They asked me to join the what do you call it, the new reggaeton group, like the super group here, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot, you know, bro. I felt so strange, like trying to do, like I felt naked, bro. Like the first time I was like, hey man, look, I can't do this. Like, let me bring some originals to you, and I might throw you a, you know, 8-bar or something in the mix of some stuff, but no lo puedo hacer. And then I said that to them, and you know, not just them, but Gustavo and Sajo and everybody else was involved. And they said, yeah, that's cool. And I dropped some originals. They loved it, and I was able to, you know, do a couple of those shows with them and be part of that for a second. But I still can't do it. It's not that I don't want to. I want to, but it scares the shit out of me, bro. I don't know why. It scares me, bro. You know what I mean?
Man, I was, dude. Like, I know exactly what you're saying about it. Like, see, that's the thing though. When I was doing those locals, and when I was on my music grind, and when it was doing my thing, there was just like, nah, you're not gonna get me to do a cover. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen. The only time I think I'd ever done it was as part of a project called South American Rockers, which is generally it's musicians coming together to sort of like pay homage. And that's a project that a good friend, Oscar Jimenez, who originally was from Sydney, who had his band Watusi, and he was our main producer with those locos, and now he also lives in Melbourne now, and he's got his band Amaru Tribe. But it was just like one of those collective things, like a one-off type South American rockers, and you got different musicians from different bands and vocalists, and sort of doing some covers to pay tribute. And whilst we were living in Melbourne, we went over to Sydney to Darling Harbour, and there was that was massive, and I was like, all right, cool, and I ended up doing Represent by Orishas. We had Carlos Velasquez singing, but again, like I spat. It was like, okay, I spat the first verse of Represent by Orishas, and then the other two verses were just my own verses, and then we ended up doing Ya Llegó, and I was.
That's
then we ended up doing those locos, Ya Llegó, and all that sort of stuff. But that was back then. As I'm saying now, like since I stopped and I haven't done music, like it's like my creative side, and I wasn't doing my stuff. I was like, okay, I need to get back into what I love and my passion, and this was a step. And dude, I never liked reggaeton back in the day. You know, I always remember Cheeky was always the one. Cheeky's always been the one that's been like up to date. You know, it's like when reggaeton started becoming big, it's like, we got to do this, we got to do this, and I was just like, nah, man, I like the organic live band stuff. Keep me this, because so I rejected reggaeton. But then when I came out of rehab, and in 2017, so I started working in the clubs again, but I wasn't writing or anything, and I started picking up a guitar and learning some covers.
But you'd probably be hearing all the songs too, hey? Like you're hearing them.
But that was and because I haven't and I hadn't been doing my own music, but just to keep myself sort of creative, I was like picking up guitar and as well singing a lot more. It's not so much rapping, because reggaeton nowadays, more than anything, it's singing. All the guys that used to rap sing, so it's more. It's more singing, you know what I mean? It's more singing than rapping. Yeah, you've got some raps here and there, but it's mainly singing. So and like, look, for me, it was just like my thing's always been live bands. My thing's always been live music. And I was playing a guitar and just doing I started learning some reggaeton covers and stuff like that. And then it just got to a point I was like, you know what, like, I need to get back to as I said, my passion, which is performing first. And I started trying to look at things that I could do to hopefully get myself back motivated to create, to do the things that I used to do so passionately, but that I just wasn't doing it anymore. So I was like, you know what, like let's start a band. And I started looking. I was like, dude, reggaeton, like, man, it's the biggest genre It's the biggest
Yeah.
genre, Latin genre in the world. Everyone loves it. Everyone bangs to it. I was just like, and again, the name of the band is Lo Que Faltaba. Why? Because, dude,
Yeah.
you've got you've got all Latin bands that play everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you've never had a Latin band that plays reggaeton.
Reggaeton.
And all these
I haven't. Yeah, exactly.
all these hits that everyone dances to and sings to in the clubs that are you know, reggaeton's only ever been known to the people by DJ performances playing at clubs.
Total,
so I was just like, man, let's you know, let's do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, it's always about knowing your strengths, and that was always my strength, man. Like being on stage, performing, and putting together a kick-ass show. Like for the people that know me from back in the day, that's you know, it's like if anyone has asked me in life, what's the one thing that you're good at, I can say this is what I'm good at.
That's awesome.
You know, putting on a show, being on stage, performing, entertaining. That's what I do. And I hadn't done it for so long. And
did you miss that? Did you feel like you really missed that when you weren't doing that?
Absolutely. So then Lo Que Faltaba was born, man. Started, and now we've got a seven-piece reggaeton cover band that plays everything from like the classic hits to the hits of today.
I swear to God, bro, I got where do you start? Because I got to go up there I'll go up there just to check that out, bro.
Oh, bro, 19th of December, Johnson Street Festival.
19th, you're playing there the 19th
of December, yeah. We're playing on the 18th. We're playing on the 18th at the Nightcat, which is a very, very, very well-known and long-running live music venue in Melbourne, which is in Fitzroy, the suburb where.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I got this Aussie friend that comes from Broady originally, back in the day. Broadmeadows,
Broady
right?
boy, he's a Broady boy. Okay.
Yeah, he was saying it was rough or whatever, bro. He always goes on about it all the time, right?
Bro,
shout out, Jacko, bro.
Broady is a rough area, man.
Yeah. Today. He was telling me about a lot of things, bro. A lot of things. And bro, he's mentioned Fitzroy. He's mentioned, like, you know, all the is it Lionel Street or something where like all the coffee places and, you know what Lygon Street, yeah.
Lygon Street, yeah.
Bro, if I touch down, will you help me out through Melbourne? I honestly, I know this sounds funny, but like I haven't been there.
Absolutely, dude.
Oh, bro, you know what, bro? I gotta tee this up,
bro. You ask, and as well, ask anyone that knows me. It's how I've always been like that. Like when I was in Sydney or in Melbourne, man. Like you're coming to my town for the first time, I got you, man. Like,
sick.
Dude, ask Casado, ask any of the boys that have been here that and they've been hosted by me. Like, yeah, man. I'll show you what's up.
Oh, that's crazy, man. But hey, Ceba, look, man, we're running out of time, bro. We got to wrap this up. But Ceba, MC Ceba acá en la casa, I really want to thank you, man, very much for sharing your story and your time and all your wisdom with la gente acá en la casa para la raza. Un aplauso a MC Ceba.
Thank you. And also big shout out to yourself, man, Role Latino and La Casa para la Raza. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me this time and this platform to share with you guys and tell you a bit about myself. And brother, please, man. But I need to ask you. I need to ask you a question, man. Like straight up. Man, I've seen you're worse than him than Michael Jordan, man. You retire and come back like it's going out of fashion, brother. I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times I've read messages. My people, I love you. Thank you so much for everything, but I'm stepping away.
Bro.
I'm stepping away from the music for this or that, and then, dude, I don't even blink my eyes, and you're already coming out with 3 video clips and more songs and.
Yeah, I think that was crazy. You know, nobody's asked me that before, but we got to say it here, bro, for sure, 100%. I recently did a video where I'm apologizing to a lot of people because I felt like when I burn out, I go through the state of mind where just I don't like quite cope with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
want to step away from it all. And then I swear to you, man, like I go through this anxiety mode where I'm like, I don't know whether I want to give this up. I do want to give this up. I love this game. And then that's just like la locura Roy Latino, bro. You know what I mean? But nah, man, I've been able to get myself together, bro, and that is a little issue that I had. I had to actually apologize to a lot of people, bro, because I kind of pissed a few people off, and yeah, man. But yeah, that's why. But no, we're here, bro. We're here for good.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. And once again, man, thank you so very much, and big shout out to everyone listening and watching in, and keep supporting.
Ah, man,
Casa
thank you,
para la
Ceba.
raza.
In la casa para la raza. Thanks, MC Ceba, man. We'll talk soon, bro.
Much love, man. All the best.
Dale. So there we have it. Man, MC Ceba. What a great story, honestly. MC Ceba, he was part of Y La Familia, part of Oz Locos. Now has a new reggaeton cover band, Lo Que Faltaba. He's about to drop his own stuff for the first time. And honestly, he's one of the pioneers in the game, Latino culture. So peeps, make sure you go and follow MC Ceba at all his social media platforms. He's one of my homies, and I was grateful to be able to share one stage with the homie back in the day. That's my brother 100%. MC Ceba, you seen it here, you heard it here. En la casa, para la raza. Make sure to tune in next time for more episodes, and you already know what to do. Subscribe on the button below, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Vámonos.